Hello everyone and welcome to Cinderful Gaming. In today's video we're going to take a look at and review the rules for the Cities of Sigmar Castelite Company Spearhead in Warhammer Age of Sigmar. Today's video is sponsored by Gap Games, a fantastic miniature wargaming store in Queensland, Australia. They stock a wide variety of miniature wargames from all things Games Workshop to some of my personal favourites, Conquest of the Last Argument of Kings, and all things Modifius wargames as well. Use our affiliate code in the link below to help support both this fantastic store and the channel as well. Our formation in this box set has our General as a Free Guild Cavalier Marshal. For your units, we have 3 of them joining him, a unit of 10 3 Guild Steel Helms, 5 Free Guild Cavaliers, and an Iron World Great Cannon as well to provide us with some nice shooting support. Our force has the following battle trait, the Officer's Order. This is a once per battle ability that can be used at the start of a battle round. To declare it, we pick a battle tactic card in our hand and place it face down separately next to your other battle tactic cards. The information is still hidden from your opponent, but you need to make sure it's clear to your opponent which card is separate from the rest. This card stays separate until you use the command on it or score the battle tactic on it as described below in the effects section. Effect: when you use the command on this card, it is not discarded but returns to your hand. Your opponent can check the information on it before it is returned to your hand as well. The card goes back to being a normal battle tactic card with the exception that you cannot use the command on it in the same phase it went back to your hand. If you did not use the command on the card you separated, you can still score the battle tactic on it at the end of your turn as normal if you meet its conditions. If you do so, discard it as normal. If you neither use the command or scored the battle tactic on this card, it automatically returns to your hand at the end of your turn. A little designer's note here is this ability essentially lets you use a command for free. You have to choose that command at the start of the battle round, so it does require a little bit of planning ahead. Onto Regiment Abilities, and we get to pick one of the following 2 abilities. The first being for Sigmar Charge. Once per battle, your charge phase. Now, you declare this, you use this ability before any charge abilities are used during the phase, and friendly cavalry units that charge this phase have strikes first. This is pretty solid considering we do have, our character and our knights, Free Guild Cavaliers, all being cavalry units. Getting strikes first on them means they can charge in together and strike an enemy unit pretty heavily before they get to strike back. Iron World Discipline is the alternative option for our regiment abilities, once again a once per battle, but this one during your enemy shooting phase. You declare this, you pick an Iron World Great Cannon to use the ability, and the effect is that it can shoot as if it were your own shooting phase. Now, there's a couple of things here to remember. Your opponent will use all their abilities first, and then you'll use all yours. So you will be doing this after your opponent's shot. So maybe if they outrange you, they might target your cannon with this, but being able to bring the Iron World Great Cannon an extra turn of shooting in your games is certainly nothing to shirk about. I do think for me, for Sigmar Charge is probably the way to go, as those units are going to be doing some serious heavy lifting for us. Moving on to our units, and as mentioned, our force is led by a Free Guild Cavalier Marshal. The model has 7 health, a 10-inch move, 3+ save, and a control score of 2. For weapons, it actually has a ranged weapon, its Dragoon Pistol. There's a 10-inch range, 2 attacks, 3s to hit, 4s to wound, Ren 1, damage 1, a weapon with a shoot and combat ability. For melee, we have our Master Forge Longsword, 5 attacks, 3s to hit, 4s to wound, Ren 1 normally, though we do have the ability to increase this to Ren 2, and damage 2 as well. And then his War Horse's Steel Shod Hooves put in another 2 attacks at 4s to hit, 5s to wound, no Ren, damage 1. A big thing on this model is its ability Decisive Commander. Your hero phase, you can use this and declare you pick a friendly Free Guild Steel Helms unit, hold within 12 inch of this unit, and roll a dice. On a 2+, you pick one of the following. On your feet, the target unit is not in combat, you can return D3 slain models, so potentially we could have 2 D3 Steel Helms coming back each turn, which is pretty cool. Or Yield No Quarter, where we add 3 to the target unit's control score until the start of your next turn. Pretty solid couple of abilities to give to your Steel Helms, which are going to be the units going to hold objectives. I think for me, the add 3 to control score is only going to be used if you are sort of at full strength. Otherwise, it's just better to bring back D3 slain models and get your 3 points that way. Potentially, it could be less, so I guess that does depend really what you need. If you need a guaranteed 3, then you would be going yield no quarter, but on your feet, if you're needing 1 or 2, I'd take the risk and roll for it. Next, we have the Ironworld Great Cannon with 8 health, of 3-inch move, 4+ save, and control score of 2. Now, the ranged weapons on here require us to read the ability of Shot and Shell. This is a passive ability, and each time this unit makes a shoot ability, either use the Cannonball or Great Shot weapon characteristic for all the attacks it makes with its Great Cannon, though the Cannonball can only be chosen if the unit has not used a move ability. So we have these 2 different range profiles, and we only get to use one of them each round. The Cannonball version is 24-inch range with 2 attacks, force to hit, 2 to wound, Ren 2 damage D3 plus 2. Or the Grape Shot is a 12-inch range with 5 attacks at 3s and 3s to hit and wound with Ren 1 damage 2. In melee, we've got a couple of attacks in there from the crews that don't do all that much, and the keyword obviously is War Machine on it. This is a solid piece all round and definitely has some options, sitting backfield, sort of launching some damage at long range, and if your opponent gets too close, it's got some pretty good sort of spread damage as well. Our next unit are the Free-Guild Cavaliers. They have 3 health each, which is pretty cool, a 10-inch move, 3+ save, and 1 control. They're armed with Cavalier weapons in melee with 3 attacks each, 4s and 4s to hit and wound, Ren 1 damage 1, with the charge +1 damage ability as well, so 2 damage on the charge is pretty nice. The Warhorse Steel Shot Hooves, like the Cavalier Marshal, add a couple of extra attacks, and they have the Devastating Charge ability, which can be used in any charge phase. If this unit charges this phase, you pick an enemy unit in combat with it to be the target and roll a dice, and on a 2+ inflict D3 mortal damage onto the target. It's going to be pretty cool because obviously we can get strikes first on these guys as well when they're charged, which is nice. Can really pack out some solid damage. Lastly, we have the Free-Guild Steelhelms. 1 health each, a 5-inch move, 4+ save, and control score of 1. They've got 2 attacks each with their Free-Guild weapons at 4s to hit and wound with no Ren damage 1. The big thing though is to consecrate the land ability. During your movement phase, it can be used, and you declare if this unit is contesting an objective you control that's not contested by enemy models, and then roll a dice. On a 3+, the objective is considered to be consecrated. Further units have a ward of 6+ while they're contesting a consecrated objective. If your opponent gains control of a consecrated objective though, it is no longer consecrated. They also have the infantry and reinforcements keyword, meaning they can keep coming back onto the table when they're destroyed, which is really nice to just keep you in the fight, especially when you've got a lot of ways to heal the unit, either from your Cavalier Marshal or choosing some of the enhancements and stuff like that. They're a really good unit for just holding objectives and make everything else a little bit tougher around them if they can get consecrating those objectives. A 6-up ward on top of some decent armor saves on things for our Cavaliers is nothing to shirk about. We hope this video was helpful in getting you started with Warhammer Age of Sigmar Spearhead, and that it was able to give you some ideas and inspiration to start your own force in the game. If you have any other questions at all, please comment them down below. And while you're there, don't forget to drop a like, subscribe, and join our Discord server to check out all of our future Warhammer Age of Sigmar content.